and just keep on believing that we have to do well here for the team. So
I just want to ask one last question. That's if you had to give one bit of information to your bowlers about bowling on this pitch when they get a turn to bowl, what would it be?
it would be the line would be the key point here, the line of length. If we stick to the good line of length and good areas, so we will manage to restrict them and to get them bowled out.
Abdullah, thank you very much for your time. Well done again.
Thank you so much.
Well, some very interesting thoughts, but one name that got mentioned was Salman Agha. Now, is he kind of in the shade? In the first test also he did well, and what about this innings?
Look, he's blossoming, that's for sure. But what Salman Ali Agha brings to the table for the Pakistani side is the balance. When you're playing three seamers, he's your second spinning option. And if you're playing on a turning track, we have seen that, he gives you important wickets. So he's a very good addition to the Pakistani lineup. He brings that balance.
Well, just a thought, Amir, about the position he bats. Now, you talk about his batting. He's batting at number 7. Do you think he should bat a notch higher?
Well, if they think he's suitable there and he's doing a good job, why change it?
All right, interesting thoughts. Time to look at the pitch. Now, Abdullah Shafiq had some observations about it. What does Russell Arnold think?
Steamy morning. It's going to be sweaty and quite muggy for the players out here. The sun's shining, so that's the good news. No overs lost yesterday. I feel we'll get a lot of play in here today as well. The ball did spin. We saw that yesterday for both the left-armer and also the off-spinner. But ideally, it was from outside the line of off-stump. So you can use these areas to the batters to create pressure. Both spinners getting considerable turn, but they did make a mistake. They went away from that length very, very quickly. Now, if you look at the lines, in line with the stumps, it looks pretty good. But where the scarring is, where the wear and tear is, out there, look at this. You can target these areas, even on the other side. So these are the areas the spinners start from. They build pressure. They peg the batsman in the crease and then try and exploit these little areas which are fuller. Stop him using his feet. You can put pressure. But Pakistan now well ahead of the game. It'll be interesting how Abrar, Noman Ali and even Salman Ali Agha come and use these. You bowl straight, I think it'll be a lot easier. Sri Lanka missed a trick, way behind. Now they'll be hoping for a lot of luck.
Well, they are hoping for a lot of luck. I certainly agreed they missed a trick, but Russell Arnold made the point about the lines one needs to bowl. It was not turning off the straight, but it was turning outside the stumps.
Yeah, he made a good point because the bowling attack has been one-dimensional. When you talk about at this level of the game, a bowler should be well equipped of these things that he can change the line and all that. But with Prabhat Jayasuriya, since he pulled his upper body back to get his arm higher, he keeps on pushing the ball within the stumps. And when it comes to changing the line, he finds it very difficult. And for a left-arm spinner, if you bowl over the stumps, you're able to spin the ball a mile. But he hasn't been able to do so. So he has to look at his variations and all that to be able to meet success regularly at international level on a pitch like this.
Right, we're ready to start play on day 4. Pakistan still batting. Just to remind you, 563 is what they've got for 5 wickets. It's time to join our first commentators, Russell Arnold and H.D. Akam.
Beautiful morning here in Colombo at the SEC for day number 4 of the second test match between Sri Lanka and Pakistan. It was a day yesterday dominated by the bat of Pakistan. Their lead is a big one, 397. Many were sitting and waiting for a declaration late on in the evening, but it didn't come. Instead, the lights started to fade, the runs continued to pile up, and this morning Pakistan are going to continue having a hit. Alongside me, former Sri Lankan all-rounder Russell Arnold. Russell, a lot of hard work lies ahead of the home team here.
Good morning, everyone. A lot. And you'll hope for a lot of luck as well to survive. Runs against you, the pitch deteriorating, and that would mean Pakistan will be with their tails up. Now guess what? Pakistan doing something that's not usually done. Trusting the forecast, the weather forecast. Hence, batting a bit more. But if you could have the 196 overs that are remaining, it it is the right decision. Wear the opposition down. Next few overs, HD. Try and use your feet a bit. Run on the pitch a bit, maybe.
I didn't actually see, I mean, I know you were out there that did the pitch report this morning, but I didn't see, did Pakistan use a roller, or did they just decide to go against that?
So what happens is every morning the batting team has the choice of getting the roller on. They have the choice of which roller, heavy, light, and also the choice of sweeping. Pakistan this morning opted not to have the roller nor have it swept. That would mean it's still looking ugly, and the opportunity for it to become dirtier is greater. Now Sri Lanka will have the opportunity to pick a roller, and also whether they want it swept at the innings break. Unlike on other mornings, today Pakistan opted not to. Oh, you're observant.
I'm just wondering, I mean, what do you make of that decision? Do you think a heavy roller would have just compacted more? So do you think that they've gone down the right route to not allow the service to be rolled twice today?
Yes, and with the wear and tear, the crumbling that happens, there's soil, there may be pieces of soil, maybe stones even from rolled underneath. They could be lying around. Ball hits that, there could be more damage. They're just trying to maximize. Babar's ready with his whites. It's not the fact that he doesn't trust his tail. He'll probably be batting 5 or 6 overs just to rub it into the Sri Lankans.
Yeah, those feet will be very, very heavy this morning. Sri Lankan bowlers and fielders who spent the entire day out in the heat. But here we go. Day number 4.
Is that a different action? Yep, they got the nails out. These are half spikes that batters generally tend to use. Half spikes means nails are at the front and nothing at the back, whereas the bowlers and fielders tend to use the full spikes. It'll be interesting to see Sri Lanka come out to bat with the rubbers. Try and preserve. No, he's got nails at the back too. Rarely do you see batsmen using this, but it's got the 2 nails, not the usual 4 nails. The heel.
Trying to have a glimpse at the batting partner to see what his footwear looks like as well. They certainly are new. They're not worn down spikes, are they? The instruction will be play normally, just play normally, but do a bit of gardening, take a walk out there, tap it down a little bit.
No, he's not got nails on the heels. His partner has.
All of them, they're all getting ready. So a declaration is just around the corner. Shaheen Shah Afridi putting on the bowling boots. He'll play a big part.
Just seems even if there's a wicket that falls, that'll be it. Whether it be in this over or 3-4 overs time.
And there's no doubt that if the weather report is to be trusted, there is more than enough time for Pakistan to go on and win this test match.
Well, we tend to rely on what Shana Basinger gives, I mean, on his feedback. Rubbers on the heels, so this is the half spike that he usually used.
Players are well within their rights to use those shoes with spikes in it. They're just not allowed to go into the danger area and scuff anything up.
Did I see it right? Shaheen Shah Afridi had just the 3 nails on the heel. That's the first for me. For grip. He's just got the 3. Not the lost one, that's for sure. That's the way this moves. Maybe it's custom made.
You can understand as well, fast bowlers, cricketers having their shoes custom made now. Part of the trade. Remember many years ago there was a South African opening batsman by the name of Jimmy Cook. He used to bat in sprinters spikes. Know what would have happened if he ran into a Waka Yunus toe breaker with sprinters spikes on.
So the Fernando's got 4 spikes on the heels. Not ankle boots. Fast bowlers sometimes like the ankle boots, that extra support. I'll tell you what, Shaheen Shah Afridi definitely not coming out. He's ready to go. So is Naseem. Abrar, of course, has a long wait. Down at 11.
The end of the first over. 563 for 5.
सेफगार्ड से नहाना,
जर्म्स दूर भगाना।
बिजनेस में आसानी चाहते हो तो ऐसा अकाउंट लो जो हर शहर में आसानी से चेक क्लियर करे, बिल्कुल फ्री, जैसे HBL फ्रीडम अकाउंट। बिजनेस बड़ा हो या छोटा, हर बिजनेस को आसान बनाए।
मैडम आपकी स्प्राइट
एक इसको भी देना और कहना कि ठंडा।
स्प्राइट लगा, ठंडा। फिर से डैंड्रफ का डर हमेशा सर पे सवार।
ले आओ हेड एंड शोल्डर्स जो जड़ तक जाए ताकि डैंड्रफ वापस ना आए। हेड एंड शोल्डर्स कंधे से बोझ हटा दे।
He's going to go again. They wound him up yesterday and they just let him go. Bowled 52 overs, Prabhat Surya in this innings so far, and that's going to continue.
Come on, boys.
Might be the first boundary of the morning, and is.
I thought Babar Azam had said that he didn't want the sweep.
Boys, come boys.
Full toss, he likes that shot, he gets to it. That's it. He told the groundsman not to sweep because he's got his batsman sweeping well.
Mohammad Rizwan substituted into the team because of concussion to Safras, who was wrapped on the helmet. Quite a big blow yesterday, his first delivery from Asta Fernando.
Yeah, saw him wandering around, hanging around with the boys, doing the warm-ups. He said he was fine, no after effects, so that's good news from Fras's point of view.
Sweeps further in front of square, and a similar result brings up the 100 partnership between these two.
And he gets closer to a half century. This is what you do. You get an opportunity, take it with both hands. Two straight. Two straight from Prabhat Jayasuriya. Not a lot happening in line with the stumps.
Yep, we've been going on about that line a couple of days now, Russ, about straight is not the way to go here on the surface.
Straight is the way to go in Gaul. These players have played a lot of test cricket in Gaul. There's natural variation, the ball skids, tends to turn from the straight. But on most other pitches, it starts to turn or crumble in line with the stumps very late in the game. Either side of the stumps, bowlers follow throughs, run up, batsmen are allowed to run around, it crumbles faster. The rough, as you call it.
Now he sweeps through mid-wicket. He loves the stroke. He plays it very, very well. And he's found the boundary on 3 occasions in this over already, Mohammad Rizwan.
49. In a very good innings. Like for like replacement. On off stump, he takes it in front of square leg. There was a fielder there, picking his spots.
That'll be 50. Opportunity taken by Mohammad Rizwan. 50 of just 67 deliveries. So lovely innings. And the end.
मैडम आपकी स्ट्राइट
एक इसको भी देना और कहना कि ठंडा
स्प्राइट लगा ठंडा।
बिजनेस में तरक्की चाहते हो तो ऐसा अकाउंट लो जो ऑनलाइन पैसे आसानी से ट्रांसफर करे, बिल्कुल फ्री, जैसे HBL फ्रीडम अकाउंट। बिजनेस बड़ा हो या छोटा, हर बिजनेस को आसान बनाए।
आया है एक नया खिलाड़ी जिलेट ब्लू 3 फ्लेक्सी, जो दे सबसे आरामदेह शेव पूरे 7 शेव्स तक। जिलेट ब्लू 3 फ्लेक्सी अब सुपर लो।
Just making a statement to Sri Lanka that they can do whatever they want. You have the opposition down. Do not. Special moment for Mohammad Rizwan. Never expected it. Suddenly it was presented to him and looked like he was ready. 132 not out. Salman Aliaga. Top class player, knows his game and very, very positive.
So many might ask the question, why did they come into bat this morning just for such a short period of time? Well, it was to get Mohammad Rizwan to 50, which he duly did in very quick time with 3 wonderful sweep shots. His partner Salman Aliaga remains unbeaten on 132. A wonderful innings by Pakistan. 576 for 5 declared. Runs and partnerships throughout.
आया है एक नया खिलाड़ी जिलेट ब्लू 3 फ्लेक्सी, जो दे सबसे आरामदेह शेव पूरे 7 शेव्स तक। जिलेट ब्लू 3 फ्लेक्सी अब सुपर लॉक पैक में।
बिजनेस बढ़ाना चाहते हो तो ऐसा अकाउंट लो जो अनलिमिटेड पे ऑर्डर्स और फ्री चेक बुक्स दे, जैसे HBL फ्रीडम अकाउंट। बिजनेस बड़ा हो या छोटा, हर बिजनेस को आसान बनाए।
सेफगार्ड से नहाना,
जर्म्स दूर भगाना सेफगार्ड करें हम
सेफगार्ड से नहाना,
जर्म्स दूर भगाना।
बिजनेस में आसानी चाहते हो तो ऐसा अकाउंट लो जो हर शहर में आसानी से चेक क्लियर करे, बिल्कुल फ्री, जैसे HBL फ्रीडम अकाउंट। बिजनेस बड़ा हो या छोटा, हर बिजनेस को आसान बनाए।
मैडम आपकी स्ट्राइट
एक इसको भी देना और कहना कि ठंडा
स्प्राइट लगा ठंडा। फिर से डैंड्रफ। डैंड्रफ का डर हमेशा सर पे सवार।
ले आओ हेड एंड शोल्डर्स, जो जड़ तक जाए ताकि डैंड्रफ वापस ना आए। हेड एंड शोल्डर्स कंधे से बोझ हटा दे।
And Dhananjay De Silva, hard work.
सेफगार्ड करें हम
सेफगार्ड से नहाना,
जर्म्स दूर भगाना।
फिर से डैंड्रफ। डैंड्रफ का डर हमेशा सर पे सवार।
ले आओ हेड एंड शोल्डर्स, जो जड़ तक जाए ताकि डैंड्रफ वापस ना आए। हेड एंड शोल्डर्स कंधे से बोझ हटा दे।
मैडम आपकी स्ट्राइट
एक इसको भी देना और कहना कि ठंडा
स्प्राइट लगा ठंडा।
बिजनेस में रवानी चाहते हो तो ऐसा अकाउंट लो जो सैलरी और दीगर पेमेंट्स बआसानी ऑनलाइन ट्रांसफर करे, जैसे HBL फ्रीडम अकाउंट। बिजनेस बड़ा हो या छोटा, हर बिजनेस को आसान बनाए।
his partner Salman Aliaga remains unbeaten on 100. There'll be some preparation done to the surface. Sweeping, maybe a roller for Sri Lanka. But when we return from the break, it will be Sri Lanka who will be trying their best to save this test match.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal.
A very good morning and
participating law firms. Attention cancer victims who use the weed killer Roundup. A federal jury unanimously found that Monsanto's popular weed killer Roundup was a substantial factor in causing cancer. You may be entitled to financial compensation. If you or a loved one used Roundup weed killer and were diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, call the number on your screen now. The World Health Organization has designated glyphosate, the main ingredient in Roundup weed killer, a probable human carcinogen. Thousands of agricultural workers may have been exposed to serious health risks by using this product. You may be owed significant compensation from the manufacturer. Call now to find out if you qualify. If you or someone you loved used Roundup and were diagnosed with cancer, call the number on your screen now. Don't wait, there are time deadlines to file a claim. Call 800-815-6714.
Welcome back to the SSC for this second test match between Sri Lanka and Pakistan. Pakistan have declared 576 for 5. Safraz retired hurt. He has been replaced. Concussion replacement, Mohammad Rizwan coming into the side, so Safraz will play no further part in the test match. Rizwan was unbeaten this morning on 50 and Salman unbeaten with a wonderful 132. But it was Abdullah Shafiq's double 100 which will steal the headlines. 201, batted for more than a day. Played some delightful strokes all around the wicket, was happy to use his feet against the spin, was comfortable against the short pitch barrage that Asita Fernando took on. It's a brilliant innings. But Salman matched him.
That was his first ball, and what a classy shot. Anything loose was put away. Pace spin, he seems to want to dominate, and that's a great attitude to have at number 7. An attitude that will help to accumulate runs with the tail. Salman Aliaga going very, very nicely. He couldn't believe his luck. He found himself out there, Mohammad Rizwan. And didn't he play well? Came out this morning with the broom and swept his way to 50.
Really was hard toil for Sri Lanka. Asita Fernando was the most successful of the bowlers with his 3 wickets. Prabhat Jayasuriya really did the donkey work, didn't he? 53 overs of left arm orthodox. Nearly brought up his 200. But it really wasn't a day for the Sri Lankan bowlers yesterday. It was all about Pakistan and their dominance with the bat.
He has been replaced. Concussion replacement, Mohammad Rizwan coming
Lots
into
of
the
work
side, so
to be done by the home side. They're already 1-0 down in the series. It's going to take some doing to level this series. I think first port of call would be to try and just save this test match. They trail by 410 runs.
It was Abdullah Shafiq's double 100 which will steal the headlines. 201, batted for more than a day.
Well, it's the batting team's choice.
Delightful strokes
on the pitch swept,
all around the
get
wicket.
the rubble out of there.
His feet against the spin.
And make it look clean, make it
against
look
the short pitch
presentable to the
barrage that
eyes.
Asita Fernando took on.
Sri Lanka opting to have it swept, and they're getting the mini roll.
It's a brilliant innings.
Is this the light roller or the slight roller?
But someone matched him.
That was his first ball, and what a classy shot.
So what do you think would be the reason behind their decision to have the light roller? We know that the bigger one is a lot heavier and sometimes compacted more. What would be the reason behind Sri Lanka's choice?
Dry pitch. No moisture
Actually,
in it,
that'll help
hence the
to
chance of it
accumulate
getting
runs with the tail.
compact.
Salman Aliaga going
Yes.
very, very nicely.
With a good feel and smooth
couldn't
enough
believe
at
his
the top as much
Found
as
himself
possible
out there,
rather than
Rizwan.
affecting those cracks or areas that
Didn't
have
he
already.
play well?
That's
Came
the
out this
thinking.
morning
That's the light roller there.
with the broom
There are
and swept
different
his way to
grounds
50.
which have different.
On the field while that's been used quite. And in the infancy stage of his career, Dushka, it's his 5th match. He started nicely, but this is going to be a different type of test for him.
Known for making runs, big runs. Tighten up on his game plan. See the threat of Shaheen Shah Afridi off, along with Naseem Shah. They are quality new ball bowlers. And set stall. The long haul. Not watching the cricket. Playing powder. Some of our friends use early in the morning. They're on the pre-show.
Shaheen Shah Afridi. Oh, big shout first up. Big shout. Umpire Alex Wolf says not out.
He's been good. Alex Wolf's been good. I thought I heard 2 noises and there was an inside edge.
A little bit of shape back in. Little bit of shape back in, and that, don't know if that clips the inside edge actually. It looks as though it's front pad and the back pad.
If it's hitting the front pad without clipping the back, it's missing leg. First point of impact.
Oh, there's swing for him. There is some swing for the tall left armour.
Bowler, when he goes full, it's a little challenging to judge that. Yep, there you go. And even if you're taking the impact, that is missing leg. Then it goes on to the back leg, which looks plumb. You can be given out in the backyard, but you shouldn't be given out here.
Another good decision that is. You're so right. He's had a very good game. Alex Wolf, England. Tough conditions. We've spoken about the players and the difficult conditions that they have to deal with, but the umpires as well. Great presentation of the scene.
So good at using angles. Not that he's express pace. Now that ball didn't swing much. But he's tough to pick up. There's a flick of the wrist also, isn't there?
Desperately want Pakistan to be able to utilize this new ball and maybe nip 1 or 2 out with the new one before they turn to the spin, and then I'm sure we'll watch closely to see if they're able to get some reverse swing later on in the day when the ball is around about 50-60 overs old, if that square is abrasive enough for Pakistan to get the ball to reverse swing. He's off the mark. They're away.
Likes that shot. Cover drive. We've seen him play some wonderful drives. We'd like to see him play those for a long period.
There you go, the wrist. Some prefer strong wrist and they go right behind it, but he's got so much control and he knows what to do, but he doesn't mind waving it around. That's the quality of the bowler.
Tidy first over from Shaheen Shah. One without loss. A lot of work for those men. There's Matthews, Chandamal, Dhananjaya De Silva, Samara Vikrama. Got a bat long. Nasim Shah. Tennis court end. He's going to be given 3 slips and a gully. 3 men on the leg side, so just your traditional new ball field for a right armour against a right-hander. Ravindra Vimalaseri standing in his first test match. He too is didn't think that he would be getting his first test match, but he has after umpire Chris Gaffney is ruled out of the test match with an eye infection.
Former policeman replaced by a current policeman.
Got a hand on it. Tell you what, they're going to need policemen out there today, because I'm pretty sure that there'll be times when Pakistan, the bowlers, maybe the fielders will just edge on to that danger area. Going to have to be watched very closely.
It depends on the situation of the game, isn't it? I guess everyone does it. Some are very clever with it. You just play on the edge to try and get any advantage that you can. We've done it in our days. I know H.D. Ackerman and his teammates have come here and whinged, or in other parts of the world, about it. But when given the opportunity, would have done the same. Nice and full, waiting for it to come and leaning into it, Madhushka.
Looking for some swing, Nasim Shah. There isn't any.
Pakistan's second biggest lead versus Sri Lanka after fielding first. Now this is in tests, I'm told.
You're a little bit reluctant to believe our statistician at the moment, Russell. Is that after he sold you down the river with the caught and bowled statistic?
He's like the weather to me.
Azim Siddiqui, our analyst up here, does a wonderful job. Well, he had some success in the first innings, Nasim Shah. He got 3. That was a beauty to get rid of Angelo Matthews. Just left him. This wasn't quite there to drive for Karunaratne, and then jammed Chandimal from around the wicket.
I'll be interested to see how Sri Lanka go about that situation if they get to it, where Pakistan will revert to that form of bowling. As I've seen Sri Lanka fall just like that in many test matches. 5 for no loss. Well, we look at the highest scores, some of the highest scores of Pakistan, 708. We're talking about a away test, 708 against England in 1987.
I played that game. That's close. Wow. Well, Pakistan review, was it going down the leg side? Shaheen Shah Afridi is not going to be emotional about the DRS. He's walked away. Back to his runner. Got to be so careful with his opening burst because he pitches the ball up and he gets into swing lane, targeting the stumps or clearly going down the leg side. Missing his favorite flick through mid-wicket. Dimut. He thought about it.
Then thought against it. Oh, he's been good. He's really been good. He's been asking questions. Both from Dimut Karnaratne and Nishan Madushka. Both batters had close calls. Madushka had an inside edge. Look at the first over, the pressure he created of the very first delivery. Inside edge.
Magnificent start, and then a Yorker to follow that in-swinging angle. Pitching it up. Ask any opener, he would say the toughest gig is sort of moving your feet to that fuller length up front early.
Two slips and a gully. Madushka loves to go through extra cover. Got that man there. Oh, that's a good run. It's a good bouncer. That's a good change of length.
So Sri Lanka are way behind in this contest, 404, they trail by. So what do they need to do now? So we have another look at that shorter length. It's good thinking from Shaheen Afridi. Batter probably looking for a fuller length once again, and surprised he must have been just a little bit. Even when you're looking to draw a contest, you've got to have some rhythm into the batting effort. So somehow you've got to have a goal and go at a normal pace. No point in dropping anchor. Got to play your natural instinctive game and look to develop partnerships and rhythm. There's certain batters, there were definitely quite a few in my times who were brilliant at drawing contests, who were brilliant when the teams were in a strife. They would stand tall. You need a different kind of a temperament in such a tough situation, and it can make Sri Lanka as a unit. So there are a lot of things that they can develop when they're in such tight situation. Keep Babar Azam off the wicket-taking options. Not let Pakistan relax. When they're in such tight situation, keep Babar Azam off the wicket-taking options. Not let Pakistan relax. When they're in such tight situation, keep Babar Azam off the wicket-taking options.
Without loss.
Not let Pakistan relax. When they're in such tight situation, keep Babar Azam.
where Sri Lanka is at the moment. Massive 404 runs. And it would be a great victory for them if they could come out of this game unscathed. Do that. But 91 overs today. Another 98 tomorrow. That's a lot of batting to do. But a lot of scoreboard pressure. Pitch not exactly the way they would have liked it to be. We've seen the ball starting to grip a bit, turn a bit. For the moment, it's the faster bowlers. Karunaratne on strike. And an extra cover. Now they got a man at short mid-wicket because Karunaratne has this tendency to play a little bit in the air. On the pads, tends to sort of flick it. That's a go-to place for him as far as scoring is, but he's been out a few times as well.
It's the best time to bat against the new ball, even though Pakistan have got a formidable opening bowling pair, but feel this is the time for Sri Lanka to lay good foundations.
An area that he would love, short and wide. Get a boundary. Karunaratne's areas mostly are square on the wicket, on the pads, on the leg side. Eat and drink.
Not a feisty, fiery start from Naseem Shah. His pace is low and allowing them with that luxury to extend his arms through the offside. Was an easy shot in the end. Nicely met out of the middle of the plate. Now he needs to stand tall. He's a rated opener in world circuit.
The ball that time dying a bit as it went through to the keeper. It was a fuller length though. Head down. Well, there is some build up, but then we've been told by Azim, according to that, now he's the latest, he's the one who gives us all the weather updates. I don't know from where, but he says it's 7% chances of rain amongst the statistics that he gives us.
He's trying to put you down straight away in the morning. Clouds, rain is a great option for Sri Lanka to get out of this mess.
Really arrived. Karunaratne was through with the shot. Yeah, Sri Lanka will need all the luck. Everything in their favour. Including the rubber, the green. That's the kind of task that they're up against. Second biggest lead that Pakistan has had in a test match against Sri Lanka. 2000 they had something more at Gaul. 419. That's a nice blend. We did have some grey clouds and there is some brightness too.
Light at the end of the tunnel. So relax.
That's what Sri Lanka must be hoping for, not from round the wicket.
And that's a better line, and the speed is up as well. 140 click delivery. Make him drive. 2 slips and a gully in place. Anything shorter can be handled easily.
I can tell you that Prabhat Jayasuriya is still in his whites. I think he's not changed. And without loss. Well, this is an idea about the third innings score at the SSC. There have been a few times that the 400 mark has been reached. Most recent being 2011 when Australia did that. Few at the SSC. SSC generally is a good surface. Batting, there have been some big scores here. But this is a completely different situation, different complexion to it.
There's certain pitches that progressively improve as the days go by. I don't know whether SSC is the type. More than anything, it's going to be a mental struggle for Sri Lanka. It's the mental toughness, the bullheadedness that is needed. Save this contest. Once again, pitching it up. Angle is superb from Shaheen Shah Afridi. Very close to that outside edge.
Indian square, very historic. Yeah, the point you made about the pressure, the mental pressure, I'm sure.
टीम इंडिया का ऑफिशियली या यूं कहे औपचारिक रूप से मिशन वर्ल्ड कप 2023 का आगाज हो जाएगा, क्योंकि अब टीम इंडिया बिना ब्रेक वर्ल्ड कप 2023 तक लगातार क्रिकेट खेलती हुई दिखाई देगी। और अब टीम इंडिया अपनी तैयारियों को पुरजोर तरीके से आजमाएगी, क्योंकि कोशिश अब रोहित एंड कंपनी की यही रहेगी कि अपनी टीम के उन बेस्ट खिलाड़ियों को आजमा लिया जाए, मौका दे दिया जाए, जो कि वर्ल्ड कप 2023 में टीम इंडिया को वर्ल्ड चैंपियन बना सकते हैं। लेकिन फैंस के लिए वेस्ट इंडीज के खिलाफ होने वाली 3 मैचों की वनडे सीरीज एक और इम्तिहान रहने वाली है, क्योंकि ये वनडे सीरीज ना सिर्फ आपकी नींद उड़ाएगी बल्कि आपको थकाने भी वाली है। तो किस तरह से वेस्ट इंडीज के खिलाफ होने वाली 3 मैचों की वनडे सीरीज का रहेगा पूरे का पूरा स्केड्यूल, आखिर किस तरह से अहम है टीम इंडिया के लिए ये वनडे सीरीज, क्या है वेस्ट इंडीज के खिलाफ टीम इंडिया के वनडे क्रिकेट के आंकड़े, जानने के लिए देखिए हमारी रिपोर्ट। वेस्ट इंडीज के खिलाफ लगातार 9वीं टेस्ट सीरीज जीत अपने अगले बड़े मिशन यानी कि वर्ल्ड कप 2023 की तैयारियों को आजमाने के लिए तैयार दिख रही टीम इंडिया का पहला इम्तिहान और वेस्ट इंडीज के खिलाफ होने जा रही 3 मैचों की वनडे सीरीज है, क्योंकि 5 अक्टूबर से शुरू हो रहे वर्ल्ड कप से पहले अब टीम इंडिया का हर मुकाबला अपनी कमियों को वक्त रहते परखने और उसे दूर करने के लिए ही रहेगा। हैरानी नहीं कि टीम इंडिया के साथ साथ फैंस भी इसे लेकर रोमांचित हैं, लेकिन एक सच्चाई तो ये भी है कि बीती टेस्ट सीरीज की ही तरह अब वेस्ट इंडीज के खिलाफ होने जा रही वनडे सीरीज भी देखने के लिए भारतीय फैंस को अपनी नींद की कुर्बानी देनी होगी। आपको बता दें कि सीरीज के पहले 2 मैच गुरुवार 27 जुलाई और शनिवार 29 जुलाई को बारबाडोस में खेले जाएंगे, जबकि आखिरी मैच त्रिनिदाद में मंगलवार 2 अगस्त को होगा। भारतीय समय अनुसार ये मैच शाम 7 बजे शुरू होंगे, जिसकी 3.5 घंटों की पहली पारी लगभग रात 10:30 बजे तक खत्म होगी। पारी के बाद करीब 45 मिनट का ब्रेक या लंच टाइम रहेगा। दूसरी पारी भारतीय समय अनुसार रात 11:15 बजे शुरू होगी। ऐसे में अगर मैच की दूसरी पारी 50 ओवर तक खिंच जाती है तो फिर यह मैच देर रात 3:15 बजे तक खत्म होगा। वनडे सीरीज के मैचों के स्केड्यूल को जानने के बाद अब आपके मन में सवाल होगा कि आखिर भारत में रहते हुए वनडे सीरीज के मैचों को कहां देख सकेंगे। तो आपको बता दें कि टेस्ट सीरीज की ही तरह टेलीविजन पर भारतीय दर्शक इन मैचों का लाइव टेलीकास्ट डीडी स्पोर्ट्स पर देख सकेंगे। वहीं ऑनलाइन देखने के लिए जियो सिनेमा ऐप, फैन कोड ऐप या फिर वेबसाइट पर इन मैचों को देखा जा सकेगा। बात करें भारत और वेस्टइंडीज के बीच खेले गए वनडे सीरीज के इतिहास और आंकड़ों की, तो भारत और वेस्टइंडीज के बीच अब तक कुल 139 वनडे मुकाबले खेले जा चुके हैं, जिनमें 70 मुकाबलों में जीत के साथ भारत का पलड़ा भारी रहा है। वहीं वेस्टइंडीज ने भारत के खिलाफ कुल 63 वनडे मैचों में अपनी जीत दर्ज की है। इसके अलावा दोनों टीमों के बीच 2 मुकाबले टाई रहे हैं, जबकि 4 का कोई नतीजा नहीं निकल सका है। भारतीय फैंस के लिए जानने वाली अच्छी बात यह भी है कि टीम इंडिया वेस्टइंडीज के खिलाफ वनडे सीरीज में भी जीत की फेवरेट बनकर मैदान पर उतरेगी। टीम इंडिया अपने खेले पिछले 8 मुकाबलों से वेस्टइंडीज से नहीं हारी है, जबकि वेस्टइंडीज ने भारत के खिलाफ साल 2019 में अपनी आखिरी वनडे जीत दर्ज की थी। ये मैच वेस्टइंडीज में ही पोर्ट ऑफ स्पेन में खेला गया था।
There are plenty of buildings around, a lot of colonial architecture. Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation is somewhere there. The Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, which is a more newer building. Broadcasting Corporation is an older one. It just turns and watches. It's a lovely place. It's one of the posh places in Sri Lanka. Real estate here is very pricey. old buildings and some new ones. A bit of history in this area as well, just as the Independence Square and the Bandaranaike Memorial International Conference Hall across. And of course, a few cricket grounds. Impressive, isn't it, the skyline?
Very much, yes. The fielder there for that pull shot. He's huffing and puffing. When the sun is out, bowling, fast bowling could be challenging. But Pakistan know that a wicket or two has to come with the new ball. They need to strike early. Because once the ball gets soft and all, it becomes difficult really to have that sideways movement or get anything out of the surface.
Again, that probing line. It's been a good line to bowl. That delivery holding its line through to the keeper. Really got it to swing across.
Playing from the crease.
A solid technique for his wicket-taking ball. Then he does nothing. There's a little shuffle, and then he plays from the crease. So that's met quite properly. Could have been more forward to it. The deliveries or the angle that leaves him that where he seems to struggle. So to overcome it, you speak about the strike. So what about trying to leave deliveries on that line? I mean, you just make the conscientious decision. You're not going to play. Leaving the ball is determined by how well you're moving the crease. So if you're playing from the crease, then obviously you're not on top of the ball, and so leaving the ball becomes iffy. Play that because end of the over. Come back to that 11 without loss. Still a mountain to climb for Sri Lanka. 399 runs. That's a lot of runs. They need to try and make good. Now, we've been told the longest that Sri Lanka have batted. They batted only once for more than 170 overs. Okay, and that was in the second innings, and that was way back in 2006 at Lord's. Remember that game? I think Mahela Javadana, did he get 100 in that? That was a match-saving innings. That's a good recall moment. Good reference point for Sri Lanka to get the dugout environment working in your favor. Another special effort in the second innings was against India way back in 1985. Sri Lanka got 251, but batted for 120 overs. The bat comes down at an angle, so you can't call it an issue because that's how he plays. There are batters who would be good in one area, not so good in the other. You can't have a 360 dial batter. If you have one, then obviously he's a genius, but have batters that have their limitations, and so he understands his limitations. Then shot into the gap and 4, beautifully struck. Once again saw the width, went after it. Now you talk about Karnaratna's angle, bat, and the way he plays, but then that's his method. He's perfected that art and he's got a good pedigree to show. Short and wide, it's a boundary. Not be the prettiest, but very effective. Powerfully struck. The angle is okay when the ball is on the shorter length, the shorter side. It's into a bit of a tangle when it's pitched up. There once again the bat twisting in his hand, but that's good enough. He's found a way to score runs. Also important that the batters rotate the strike. I mean, there was a time that Shah Afridi was bowling more at Nishan Madhushka and Asim Shah, the left-hander, but it's so important that you keep rotating the strike. Singles are so critical. Karnaratna has moved a little bit better, 11 of 14. Madhushka has taken 25 deliveries on 5. Needs to look at opening up areas, looking for those singles just to get himself going. Till feel they can have a third slip fielder for him. It's fine that Pakistan lead by a long way, a wide margin, but still they'll have to work extremely hard to pick wickets. Wickets will not fall in their lap. So hard work is required. Win. Around the stumps now. Shah Afridi changing his angle, looking to bowl wicket to wicket. Looking for a leg before. Swing it away towards the slip court. I think that should be an easier option for the right-hander. His slanted angle from over the stumps where he tends to struggle a little bit. Been good when the ball's wicket to wicket, but as you said, that just a tight line around that off stump or just outside where he tends to kind of play at it. Talk about leaving being part of the technique. That used to be what the coaches would say, leaving is so important, knowing where your off stump is. Oh, there you are. Third slip. Where is third slip? They got an extra cover, but no third slip. The boundary. Went without loss. Last boundary was streaky. Very, very streaky. The third slip was mentioned. It wasn't there. It's so frustrating. This is very much on the cards. With a huge lead, why would you have a cover fielder? When you know that he's been struggling with that angle and he's edged a few in the series, why would you not back yourself? That is a very close call. Madhushka has been living a charmed life, I must say. Side edge of the first ball, beaten a few times outside the off stump. Finally, very nearly just falling sucker, just edging that. Naseem Shah from round the wicket. One thing about the Pakistan fast bowlers is the seam presentation that has been very impressive. We've spoken about Naseem Shah, we've spoken about Shaheen Shah Afridi. They got their wrist behind the ball, as they say it, and beautiful release. They'll want one and they'll get one. Just on that subject, let's try and look at the different seam positions of the faster bowlers from Sri Lanka and also Asita Fernando. Yeah, I mean, a wobble seam does indicate at times that you're not completely on top form. Shah really dwells in protruded seam. Hence the reason why he moves the ball, he shapes it around. Because he gets a reaction out of the surface when it's bowled with an upright seam. A lot of seam from Naseem. Yeah, a lot of seam not just from Naseem but from Shaheen Shah as well. And he's now gradually having that pace up, mid-130s, hitting that bat harder. The other great thing about Naseem Shah is he's still very young. He's picked up a test match hat-trick and he knows how to bowl. It's kind of instinctive. Can't teach a 20-year-old what lines, what length to bowl and what value a protruded upright seam will have for you. Then the bouncer. And somehow he manages to put it away from the fielder, but good surprise delivery. That's it, on to him a little bit quicker. Tushka was looking to hit it a little bit more square onto him quicker. Just in control, but the bounce just carried it over the wicketkeeper. Off edge for sure. Such an excellent option against a batter who was looking for their off-stump channel because he's being troubled by that off-stump line. Get a bouncer, is clearly late on that one. On the subject of Naseem Shah and the way you say that he's kind of developed himself, I think that's one of the things about most cricketers coming out of Pakistan. They're very street smart. If you see young guys and a quality that you'd want a modern cricketer to develop, to understand and how you handle situations. You've seen some obvious mistakes. Sometimes wonder whether the coaches at a younger level has imparted enough knowledge. I mean, you can teach technique and skill and all that, but then also teaching cricket, learning cricket. So important. I wouldn't give you a straight answer regarding development of some of these young, sensational fast bowling kids. He comes from KPK, which is a fertile land, and of late we've seen a lot of talent coming from that area. It's just that they're thrown at the deep end and you need to survive and swim. And somehow they find a way, means really, to be sensationally good at a very young age. Natural talent, ability, the passion to be the best, then obviously being handled well at the grassroots level. 8 done, 25 without a wicket. Well, it's been a real survival for Sri Lanka, 25 without loss. Managed to get this far. There have been a lot of anxious moments, particularly for Madhushka. Struggled, I must say. Been beaten a few times. Outside edge found. But he needs to kick on. He needs to put it behind him. He needs to aim for something big and something telling to try and get Sri Lanka out of this. All right, we're going to see spin. Bra at the far end. The first test pass by the Sri Lankan opening pair, not with flying